And welcome to our community. I'm Susie Thomas. Good morning to you. We are welcoming today Lynn Goodwin from Super Learning Center's Faith Christian Academy. It is amazing, the success stories. Let's talk about some of them. You might want to talk about your own daughter that was the inspiration for Super. Tell us a little bit about Alyssa and what's going on.
Two of my favorite things to talk about, Ashley and Alyssa. Those are my girls. And Alyssa, as we said a few minutes ago, she was born with some special gifts, and honestly, if I wouldn't have had her, I don't know if I would have taken the track that I'm on now. Mm-hmm. God knows that sometimes you need a little nudge. Mm-hmm. And she just really inspired me to delve in myself into special education, which I always had a heart for. Alyssa was our guinea pig for every type of intervention, every type of therapy, everything that came down that I read about. Oh, we got to try this with Alyssa. And if it was successful with Alyssa, it moved to the other kids. We were able to get a lot of feedback from her for it, and she was so good about having such a good attitude with it. And I didn't really realize during this time that the Lord was taking me through what a gift it was with my girls. Mm. They shared everything. Their mom, their dad, every toy they owned, their home, everything was turned inside out for them. It was very much, in my mind, the way a pastor's child is. We were ministering to so many children, and they had to share their family.
Interesting upbringing for them to have so many siblings, wasn't it?
Very much so. It created in them who they are. They both are such loving, compassionate, great women of God. And they're both, ironically enough, studying education.
Interesting.
And in one form or another, planning on serving the Lord through education.
And you've taken not just your own daughters, but others, and they're now in college, correct?
Oh, so many of our students. We have graduated 23 children, and out of the 23, we've had 20 that have been able to move on to higher education.
Now, that's just incredible, because when you're talking about this, when you started, this was not K through 12, right?
No, when I started, some of the kids that came in were, in upper elementary schools. So over the years, we've had some kids that be there 6 months, some been 6 years. Alyssa was there 13. Yeah. It just depends on where they're at and how long the Lord puts them in our path. But each one has been a gift, and each staff member has been just a phenomenal. The staff gives 110%. The Lord has brought staff members to us in so many unique situations where doors open for people to come in. Typically, we haven't advertised, very little advertisement, because
that's amazing.
I try to grow the company and the staff at a pace to where nobody's going to get burned out, and we each year add something new to the program after we've researched it and found that it works. And the kids are always so gracious for the new things that are being added. And we've had kids that are now RNs and teachers, and kids that we were told right in their ETR and in their IEP that, there were statements such as, this child will most likely not be able to hold a job or live on their own, that are carrying a 4.0 in a university setting.
Oh, what a testimony. That is amazing. You've also had tremendous growth in the last 3 years.
Have.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, the Lord has blessed us in many, many arenas. Just recently, we received our charter non-public status, which opened up so many doors for the kids. For the parents, the one that they were most encouraged about was opening the doors for getting buses. So now we have a line of buses in front of the building, and that's exciting. The kids think this is like the greatest thing, riding a school bus to school. But for other families, it opened up other doors for us. The Ed Choice Scholarship, the income-based scholarship, we'll be able to take those now. We also have been Autism Scholarship provider since 2007, and that is for children on the spectrum. And the John Peterson providers, we were one of the first in the state signed up for that. And that is for any child that has a special need. There are multiple categories for them to help pay for their tuition. But one of the most unique aspects of Super is the fact that for so long we were known as exclusively being a special needs school. And so many times I would hear in many different arenas, you are the only strictly faith-based special needs school around. There are a lot of special needs programs, but you are faith-based. And we have a full-time chaplain on staff. We have chapel, Bible classes. Well, this year we've changed things up a little bit more with the addition of the charter having more typicals than we've had in the past. But it's such a great bridge for diversity.
Mm-hmm. Well, and a way for families to be able to all attend school together at the same school. So the brothers and sisters can all be together and all benefit from the fellowship of being able to learn and work and play with each other. Still, I would guess, still the only faith-based focused special needs school that you still are, would you say, is this a correct statement? Correct me if I'm wrong. The focus is still the special needs.
Special needs.
And
yes.
Then you have the icing on the cake with the Faith Christian Academy.
Yes. The focus is still the special needs. And again, as I said earlier, the typical children are gleaning from these same opportunities that the special needs kids are receiving. They may not have goals and objectives that they need to meet on an IEP, but to have the sensory-based program, to have the faith-based program, to have all of the unique caveats that we have in Super, for them to have exposure to it, as well as the fact they are so grafted together. You can walk through the building, and on most days you can't tell which population is which, and that's going to help them both categories in employment.
When they get out there in the real world.
And they're working. They're both going to be able to come back to their roots and say, hey, I was already doing this as a child.
Mm-hmm. How do people qualify for these scholarships? How do they apply for them?
For the special needs scholarships, the best thing to do is to contact us at the school. And we just changed our website to iamsuper.org. Our number is 330-899-4119. Miss Callie.
Can you give that again, please?
Sure. 330-899-4119. And Miss Callie would love to talk to you. She is our first intake person, and she's just amazing, very compassionate. For the special needs scholarships, the children do need to be on an IEP and have their IEP. So they would come and get a tour, bring their IEP and their ETR with them, and then we will be able to guide them from there, the process. The children that are on the Ed Choice and the income base, there's windows that those are open for each year, and those are for typical children.
And we need to say that you just got a phone call.
Yes.
Here's a success story.
Yes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to say it without crying.
Go ahead, and if you cry, it's all right.
My daughter, Alyssa, again, my daughter that we started the school because of her special needs, just texted me that she got voted in at Stark State as a senator on student council, and she is part of the Phi Theta Kappa for her accelerated grades.
Don't tell me these kids can't learn.
I mean, this is a child that we were told that would never, ever read, ever.
Incredible.
By multiple doctors said she would never read, and she's carrying a 4.0.
Say that again.
We were told that she would never, ever read.
And?
She's carrying a 4.0.
It's incredible.
She has honors in classes.
So incredible. We could go on and on. We've got so much more to talk about. Unfortunately, our time is coming to an end. Let's be sure to give that website one more time. It's iamsuper.org. Many thanks to Lynn Goodwin for being with us today. Tomorrow, we're going to visit with Amy Miller from Ohio Means Jobs. We hope you'll join us then. Until then, this is Susie Thomas for The Light, 95.9 WNPQ, and you've been listening to Our Community.